What's up guys, my name is Jake. Today I'm going to be showing you some of my 3D prints, some that I've made personally and modeled personally, and then some that I got online, and I will share with you the website that I got them from. If you like this video and if you enjoy the channel, please leave a like and subscribe. It helps so much, and I really enjoy sharing my passion for 3D modeling and printing with everyone. So if you want to see more, or if there's something that you want me to model, comment it below and I will try to do that to the best of my abilities. Now, without further ado, let's get straight into this video. The first model that I'm going to show y'all is the stuffed Boris 3D model. Now, this was probably the first model that I did, that I printed. I'm very proud with how this turned out. I was inspired by the Bendy and the Ink Machine game. I loved that game to death. I loved the graphics and the animation and everything that went into it. And I got the inspiration for this idea from the toy store that is in the game. And so this is a stuffed Boris themed print. It is in two separate parts. It's the character Boris, and then it also has the base. I did this my senior year in my graphic design class. This was made with a resin printer that my teacher had in his classroom. And now I will show you the next one. This is another print that was made with the resin printer that was in my classroom in my senior year in my graphic design class. This is the actual character Boris. I am very proud with how it turned out. I was very happy with it. I feel like I got the geometry and the anatomy of this character very well. I could not be more happy with how it turned out. I'm very proud of this project. We have Alice the Angel. For this, I did do in my home printer, which is the FlashForge Adventure 3. You can see it's different from the resin printer because it has the striations on it. I did have to print this project in multiple parts. You can kind of see the seam right there on the leg. And I also had to print, separate the head from the body to print it, just because it wasn't going through the printer as well as I wanted it to. I was going for the cartoon aspect for all of these characters, but I'm very happy with how they all turned out. I have the Bendy character. Like I said, I was going through trying to do the cartoon aspect for it. I tried to make it seem as realistic as possible. In the game, the cartoon versions, Bendy is the shortest character out of the three characters. Pretty soon I will be printing the projectionist. Bendy was also made in several different parts. His feet and the base are one part, his body is another part, his arms were separate parts, and then his head was a separate part. The Yellow Jacket busts, this is the original that I made. This one was made with the silk PLA filament. I do not personally like the filament. It looks great whenever it's something that you don't use supports, but because the filament is so brittle, this build tend to crack, and it ended up not looking the way that I wanted to. The base broke off and the wings were butchered, and it just didn't turn out how I wanted to. This one was the one that I just uploaded a video on, because I had just recalibrated the extruder. The supports were very thick, and there was an issue trying to get the supports off, and I did end up breaking this leg off and then the two antennas, but I ended up super gluing them back together. I'm planning to paint this pretty soon. I'm not quite sure how I'm going to paint it. I do need to do some sanding underneath the chin of the head of the Yellow Jacket, but other than that, I think this print turned out way better than the first one. Is the Money Heist gold bar. I was inspired by a TV show on Netflix called Money Heist. I believe there's 4 seasons of the show. I am not sponsored in any way, but I was inspired by the gold bars that are featured in the show. You can see them in, I believe, the second to last or the last season. If you want to go check out that show, I would highly recommend it. It is a very good show. I did model this myself, everything, the face, everything. And I believe that if I did it in the gold PLA, or if I had like sanded this down and then spray painted it gold, I feel like it would have looked a lot better. Right now the paint job just looks really choppy and I'm not really happy with it, but hoping that I can redo it and try to do it in a more solid gold color. To the models that I have found online, most of the models that I've gotten come from Thingiverse. It is a website that has millions and millions of creators that model and create things that you can download the STL files and then upload them straight to your printer. And I love using that website because I can find so many cool things, including this Nightmare Before Christmas diorama. I have built 4 different parts so far, plus the accessories. One of them is printing, one of the pieces is printing right now. I have this piece, and I have one more piece that I have to build for the main diorama. This is the part of the hill. The gate and the walls go in front of this, and they line up and they come together. Once I get it finished, I'm going to end up super gluing them all together, and I'm gonna have a finished product to paint and put together. I did also model Jack. I had to make him way bigger than the model solely because the details wouldn't have been there. There was an error in the print. There's a hole in his back, but I can easily fix that with a little bit of infill and just try to fix him up. I also have some small details that go on this diorama. This is the curl for the hill. The hill is still being printed right now. And then I also have these tiny little gravestones that are going to end up going on the print as well. Continuing with the prints that I found on Thingiverse, one of the prints that I had also made on Thingiverse was this spool holder, just so that I can put 1 kilogram spools on my printer. Sadly, I cannot bring that over here and show y'all what that looks like, solely because there is currently a print happening right now. But I will show you a few of the prints that I have done that I've gotten mainly from Thingiverse. One of them was gotten from somewhere else. This is the first, or one of the first prints that I did on my home printer. This is the Dabbing Squidward. I found it on Thingiverse. And I feel like if I had put this on the fine setting rather than the fast setting, it would have turned out a whole lot smoother and it wouldn't have been as choppy. But I do think it turned out very, very well. Our articulated items. First, we have this articulated lizard. 2 of the legs broke off whenever I was trying to remove the lizard from the raft. I still think it turned out pretty well. This is a very small print because this was one of the ones that I did whenever I first started out, and I didn't want to put it on the max setting. So this is one of the first ones that I've done, and I still think it turned out pretty good. Next we have our articulated shark. It's fully flexible and the jaw opens and closes. The fins and the tail also move around. The tail is a ball socket joint. Like I said, these 2 were found on thingiverse.com if you want to go check those out. This one, however, I actually had to purchase the file for. This is an articulated alligator from Flexi Factory. I really like how this one turned out. I did run out of red filament about halfway through the print, so I had to insert white filament because that was all I had. I didn't have any more red because I only had a 1/2 kilogram spool of red whenever I first got my printer. So I still think it turned out very well for what it is. The tail moves and it's very flexible, and I really just love all of these prints. I love articulated stuff. We have our 3D puzzle box. This is a puzzle box that was made solely so that I could put money in it. I do not use it anymore, but basically there's this little pin thing down in the middle that you just guide through all these little grooves until you can open it and close it. Like I said, I solely built this project so that I could put money in it. However, I do not use it anymore, so now it's just a fidget toy at this point. But I still really like how it turned out, and I think it is a very fun thing to play. We have our Raven Skull. I don't remember if this was from Flexi Factory or not. All I know is that I found it on Thingiverse. This one did not require any supports. It printed the bottom part of the head, and then it also printed the top part of the head, and it printed like that. So I had to super glue the two pieces together, but I'm very happy with how it turned out. I think it looks very beautiful, and it's very, very detailed. Finally, we have the Desert Eagle. This was very small for a print because my printer is only so big. It can only do about 6 by 6 by 6 inches. The trigger broke off whenever I was taking off supports, and also this part broke off, so now I just kind of like play with it and hold it from time to time. I did do the paint job by mixing white and black, and then I did give a little dry brush on the edges of certain spots just to give it that rustic metal look, and I painted the entire handle black. I might end up modeling and printing another gun in the future, but I'll probably end up doing it in separate parts just so that I can make it a full-scale model. And that is all I have for today. If you liked everything that you've seen, I will be putting the Thingiverse link in the description below. I will also be putting in my portfolio link if you want to go check that out. Like I said, these are only a few of the projects that I have done. If you want to go to my portfolio, you can see all the things that I put together. I really enjoy bringing my creations to life and sharing them with others. I feel like it is a way for me to express my passion and really share it with everyone, and it makes me so happy to do so. So if you like this video, please leave a like and subscribe if you want to see more, and I will see y'all in the next one.